Let's get ready for Monday Mortgage Minute with your hosts, Tom McNamara and Bruce Woodburn.
Right. How are you today?
And I am unbelievable. How are you doing? My dogs are excited too.
Dogs are up and ready. They probably hear my voice. As soon as they hear my voice in there, they go nuts, right? Like, who is this maniac you got on the on your computer? So,
they like Uncle Bruce.
I love those dogs too. Hey, listen, and for all of you out there watching this right now, those dogs you would think are 175 pounds. I'm telling you, they're about this big. Okay. All right. They weigh 80 pounds, but they're only this big.
Little balls of fur.
But boy, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't come to that door and come inside for anything. Hey, listen, you and I got a couple of really, really great clients we're working with. Everything from in the $1 million price point down into the $275,000 price point, and everywhere in between. I'm looking at the market. Recently, our real estate association is taking on another county. They took on, I think it was Volusia County, if I'm not mistaken, and put their inventory into our numbers. So where we were running around 11,000 homes, we're running around 15,000. I think it's Volusia County that they folded into it. So the inventory is high in Central Florida right now, like highest I've ever seen in my entire career. I don't remember seeing 11,000 or 15,000 homes.
I think after the crash, it was higher, but
I gotta tell you, it seems like a lot of inventory. So conventional wisdom, Tom, would tell me that sellers got to be throwing everything at a buyer just to get them to come look at the house. But you were out this weekend with one of our clients. Tell us a little bit about that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it is true in the majority of cases, listings are sitting longer, sellers are a little more desperate. They'll take a discount, they'll give closing cost credits, they'll do all those things. Some sellers are very stubborn and don't want to listen to that, even though they should, and they sit on the market for 3, 6, 9 months. But then occasionally you get a listing that is priced well, shows beautifully, has tons of great features at a reasonable price. And that's what I ran into this weekend. So I've got actually it was last weekend, but we have these buyers that we're working with that are fantastic people. They're
highly qualified,
just like really good, right? But what they want, what everybody is getting, which is they want to buy the house, they want to get some closing cost credits and move forward. And this seller and or seller's agent was just brutal on no, they didn't even say, all right, we'll give you this. It was just
nothing. They had to have the home on for what, 5 days?
Yeah, we made the first offer when it was on for 3 days. And again, I understand a no at that point, right? But I also know, and I said, hey, why don't you just counter with something? And that was when we got back the full price counter offer.
It's interesting that you run into that in this market. So when I hear that, what you're saying to me is it's more difficult to negotiate with somebody that prices the house right from the beginning than it is if they overprice it. And then you come back and renegotiate the deal, because it makes it challenging for your buyer, because conventional wisdom would say, Tom, we need to negotiate this price. I heard I can get 98% of ask price is pretty normal. And you're going, no, not going to happen on this one. Not at this point anyway, not with 5, 6, 7 days on the market.
Yeah. So, and normally I don't go after heavy discounts the first week or so of a listing being out there because of just that, because of that psychology. But I'm telling you, this house is perfect. It's not perfect.
So what do you recommend? It's perfect. He's going to pay full price for this house if he wants the doggone house. And if he waits too long, he may pay over ask price because you get another buyer sliding in there.
Or if he waits too long, he might lose the house, right? Because, and it's interesting because I did mention to the other agent after it's been now a week, when I was talking to her over the phone, I said, hey, you haven't had any other offers? And she goes, oh no, we've had other offers. And so I'm like, oh, wait a second. You've had other offers. Obviously they're not good enough, right? Maybe the market's telling you that the house is priced wrong. She said, no, the house is priced exactly right.
It's fine. Yeah. She's immovable.
She was immovable. So at the end of the day, Bruce, my buyer, I literally just before we got on this call, I sent the offer over. We're making a full price, no concession offer. We're doing everything the seller is asking for. And hopefully we get the property under contract, because at the end of the day, the difference between what we were trying to negotiate and we ended up doing is about a $10,000 difference, which $10,000 is a lot of money. And it's also not a lot of money, right? And when you compare it to one thing, like if I just said, hey, Bruce, give me 10 grand, that's a lot of money for you to just hand me. But if I said, hey, Bruce, this is worth 10 grand more than you think it is, and it's going to value your life, it might just be, right?
It's very well worth it. It's very well worth it. And sometimes you can't put a price on that, particularly for somebody that may have been looking in the market. That person that has tested the water with several different properties knows better than anybody else that hasn't entered that market. They know, they've been looking in that area. They know what's available. And all of a sudden a gem pops up and it's going to happen.
When I say it's a perfect house, it's in great condition, but what I mean by perfect is
perfect for him. It checks
5 criteria and it met every single one of them. No compromise.
So as fate would have it, I worked pretty hard this weekend on several transactions. And I had another one that was, this guy's going 20 grand over ask.
Oof.
Okay. It's been priced on, it's on the market for 3 days. He's going, there's 6 offers on this property, 20 grand over, waiving appraisal contingency. Now, remember those days?
What is it, 2021 again?
I said, dude, just remember, you can have to make up the difference. So if you wanted to put 20% down, it's going to be 20% of the appraised value plus the difference. He goes, I've looked at everything. This house checks every box that I want, and I doggone want it. So I called the agent Sunday night out in my boat in the middle of the river, booting up my Starlink to send up an updated pre-approval letter for this guy to get his contract. But 6 offers. So we look at that inventory and we go, oh my God, buyers, but what you're saying is that you still have buyers in the market that we are getting closing costs paid. And the sellers are being more flexible, and they are on the market. I think our average day on the market is 56 days, if I'm not mistaken.
It's close to 60. Yeah.
60 days, which in my opinion is not a long time. That's not a horrible time on the market.
It feels like it. It feels like it because we all got used to things selling in a weekend. I mean, in 2021, I think I did 63 closings in 2021. I think 40 something of them were listings. And I think one sat on the market for more than a week. They all went in a weekend, right? All of them, boom, in a weekend, gone. And obviously that was just a crazy, stupid market. And so now we're back. We're not even really to what they call a balanced market, but I think
you can't be balanced with that much inventory.
Yeah, but balanced from a time frame perspective. So it's supposed to be 6 months of balance, right?
I get it, but a real balance is you've got the same amount of buyers as you do amount of sellers, and it's even market, right? But right now, I think it's way weighted that there's a lot of inventory out there, but the behavior isn't doing that. So my point is, if you're a listing agent and you price the house right, you can stick to your price as long as you want, as long as there's offers coming in, and as long as you think you can make a deal. Otherwise, but your buyers always think I should be able to have something to negotiate. So it almost seems like they should build a little bit of fat into it just so they can make the buyer feel better.
Yeah, for sure. I always warn my sellers when we list that we need to look at certain things. I actually have a rule of thumb that I use that currently works really well. I call it 10-10-0, right? Okay. So if we go 10 days with 0 showings, we lower the price.
Okay.
If we go 10 showings with no offers, we lower the price. Because if you have that many people looking at the house and you're not getting offers, even if it's a crappy offer, there's something wrong. And if you get that many offers or that many showings and no offers, something's wrong.
Absolutely. And that could be a condition. It could be a price, but it's generally one of those things.
It is. And I always say this because condition is, of course, condition, but condition could be overcome by price. So it literally always boils down to price. Now, It's what it's worth based on its current condition, right? So if you're looking at a house and you're like, it'd be great, but it needs a new roof. Okay, so I'll put a new roof on it and now you'll pay the price, right? Now I fix the condition to make the price work. Or I'll give you a discount so you can go put your own roof on. Now I fix the condition with price. Either way,
boils down to price.
It boils down to price because I can sell any house. 100%, I guarantee you I can sell any house. All I have to do is list it for $1 and I'll sell it.
That's right. That's absolutely. So that's good advice. Looking at the market, somebody that's getting into the market right now may be in a different position if you are buying from, say, 300 to 500 than you would from 500 to 800. Might be a different story.
100%.
Is that, are you finding that tends to be the case, or is it pockets that you're like, if you're in this pocket, you're going to sell for full price if you list it right?
I think both things that you just said are 100% true. I literally just posted a video on that yesterday, where I went through the 5 different groups of markets. Anything under 300 grand is going super quick unless it's a complete piece of junk and priced too high. But even those go fairly quickly, right? You can't find property under 300 grand anymore.
That's because investors or flippers are going to pick them up pretty quick too.
Yeah. And they're really worth 400 grand once they're fixed. Right. And so there's that. And this is not including condos. This is just single families.
Understand.
And then between the 350 and the 500, that band right there is selling very quickly. Again, if priced right and in good condition. The band above that up to 800 is selling well, but taking some time. Then you get into the $1 million, into that range, and they're selling very quickly unless they're super unique, and then they stay on.
And you know what? You know who my biggest competitor in that one is when it gets into that millions?
What's that?
Cash.
Absolutely. And that's
I don't compete against other lenders. I compete against cash, though.
It's tough. It's tough. And a lot of people buying in that price range are not getting mortgages. They're doing cash, especially over $1 million. The $2, $3, $5 million homes, they almost never use a loan.
They're paying cash.
I don't know the number, but it's probably 5 to 20%. It's not.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. So kind of recapping this, then it depending on your price point could depend on how you have to negotiate. But if you're under $500,000, you have a chance that you could get some closing costs paid. You're into that upper price point, that 500 to 800, say, it could be a very competitive market in this. It just really depends on the house, how it's priced. So give me 3 things that you recommend that somebody that's getting ready to enter the market right now should do to prepare themselves to be able to negotiate a deal for themselves. What are 3 things that you recommend?
3 things is obviously 1, get pre-approved, and better than pre-approved, make sure that you're pre-underwritten, right? That's the primary thing, because you want to have the utmost confidence that you're going to close. Okay. So if your lender gives you a pre-approval letter or pre-qualification letter in 15 minutes, it's probably not good. If they take some time, ask you questions, get some documentation, and get you through underwriting in a day, you're probably good. Right.
And that generally doesn't happen. You usually have to get your docs to them. But you're right. A full approved loan, not a pre-approved loan.
A fully approved loan. And yeah, so that's the number 1 thing, is make sure that you're well ready. You're well qualified. That's the first thing, is when you decide on a price point, understand you need to look at it one of 2 ways. You need to either say, I'm willing to go up to 600,000, and understand that you're probably going to go to 625 or 650 because of human psychology. Or you're going to say, I literally cannot go above 600,000. So I'm going to look up to 550, because then you'll end up going to 575 or 590 or some other number.
More than likely.
We tend, when I show people homes and they have a wide range, they hate everything that's on the low end. They just hate it. There's always something wrong, even though it's in their range. And they love everything that's a little bit above what they can buy. That's just how we are.
Natural human psychology.
So you got to be prepared for that and understand that you're going to compromise on something. You will. Obviously, there's always exceptions, but you will not get everything that you want. And I'll use the point of the folks that I just put that offer in on. They found a house that is literally perfect for them. It's got the exact layout.
It's all the boxes.
the exact yard size. It's got the pool. It doesn't need any work. Everything's updated. It literally check all the way across the board. The compromise they had to make was on price because the seller was unbendable, right?
Not budging.
Did not budge, wouldn't give $1, right? And so it's like, I said, hey, listen, compromise on price. Let it happen. Because I told you we're going to compromise on something, and you don't have to compromise on anything in this house. So compromise on price, let it happen. And so we'll see. Hopefully we get that one done.
I hope we do. Hey, listen, what a great show. I want to cover some more things on this. If you would like to see any more videos that Tom and I do or in Tom's channel, go to @Florida Real Estate Insider. That's @Florida Real Estate Insider. He's got all kinds of great interviews that he's done and that I've done with him. We've got the Florida Insurance Commissioner that we interviewed about lowering insurance premiums. There's a lot of information on there. Tom follows the whole bill on reducing or eliminating the homestead property taxes in Florida and how that's going to play out. You want to know how that really is. You want to know the true facts. You want to know which of your representatives are voting in which direction. He's got it. He can help you. Tom McNamara, EXP, one of my all-time favorite real estate agents. Thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bruce.